All right, hi guys. I'm going to try and keep this as short and sweet as possible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a quick warm up, which is a review of yesterday with the Pythagorean theorem. And then I'm going to do a little kind of hints to kind of get you started in the right mindset for 15.3 lesson. I'll go over a couple of examples and then booyah, I'm done. You can start your dynamic classroom lesson and then finish it off with your homework. So right now, what I would like for you to do, I would love for you to pause the video, try the warm up on your own, and then come back and check in with me to see if you got it right. So, what I want you to do, or on the number one, we know that the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And this is able to happen when we have a right triangle. And so how you know where each one goes is that you always know that the hypotenuse or the C is always right across from the right angle. So we're going to go in, we're going to plug this into our formula. In this case, our a squared is 0.5, or I should say our a is 0.5. Our b, we don't know that. That's what we're going to solve for. And then c squared is going to be our 1.3 squared. So go ahead, simplify that. 0.5 times 0.5, I'm going to do that right now on my calculator, is 0.25 plus our b squared that we don't know. And then it all equals 1.3 times 1.3, which is 1.69. All right, so this is where I've seen a couple mistakes. A lot of you guys have forgotten how to solve equations. Our goal is to get this b by itself. So in order to get b by itself right now, or b squared I should say, is I need to subtract the 0.25. If I add, then that becomes 0.5. Make sure you subtract, do the inverse. So 1.69 minus 0.25, you should get 1.44. And that, guys, is b squared. I want to know what b is. So therefore, I have to do the inverse, and I need to square root both sides. So I either can change this into a fraction and go from there, or I can type this into my calculator. The square root of 1.44 is 1.2. Awesome. So those are some more difficult numbers. So b equals 1.2. If I were to change this into a fraction, guys, that would be 1/4400, and then so forth. Okay? All right, so getting started for today's lesson, we are going to move on to cube roots. So square roots, that is like dealing with perfect squares. And now we're going to be dealing with cubes, which is a three-dimensional figure. So I'm going to scroll down here. Something that's going to help you today is kind of writing out what the different perfect cubes are. So we're going to list the first 15. This is going to help you when solving problems today. So I would definitely encourage you guys to write these out because they will be coming up today, and they'll be helpful to refer back to. So 1 cubed is just simply 1 times 1 times 1. So 1 cubed is 1. 2 cubed, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2, 8. 3 cubed, 3 times 3 times 3, 27. These might not be coming as fast to you as it is me. I'm just more familiar with the perfect cubes just because over time you get used to them. It's kind of like the perfect squares. But if you don't understand it, or if they aren't coming as fast, that is okay to pull out that calculator. 4 times 4 times 4. The next one is 64. 5 times 5 times 5. I know that one. That's 125. 6 times 6 times 6. That one It's 216. And now these are the ones that are starting to get a little less familiar with, because we start getting higher up there. So 8 times 8 times 8, 512. Awesome. What I want you to do is finish this out. All right, so I went ahead and I kind of finished out the chart. What I would recommend, write this on a sheet of paper. Have it handy when you do the lesson today and your homework. I promise it'll be worth it. Okay, so cube roots. We need to know cube roots. We know from the past this is a square root, but in this case, instead of nothing on the outside, we have a little 3, and that 3 represents cubed root. So that means that you need to find a perfect cube, which all above, these are all of our perfect cubes. Okay, and so cube root is going opposite, it's the inverse. So some examples of this, it says find each cube root. So we need to find what number times itself 3 times equals 8. Well, if you wrote the chart like I recommended, you can just scroll up, see perfect square up here matches. You know that our perfect cube, or excuse me, our perfect, yeah, is 2. See, if you have that chart handy, it helps, I promise. Okay, so this next one's a little trickier. It's a negative on the inside. When we're doing something times itself again, when we do it 3 times and you need your answer to be negative, we know that our answer also has to be negative, the perfect cube root of it, because if it was even, or if it was a positive number, then you wouldn't be able to get your negative number. So keep that in mind when you're solving these. So the perfect, or the cube root of negative 27, if I scroll up, I know that 3 cubed equals 27. So I know that my answer is going to be negative 3 because I need to make sure I get negative 27. Because negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9, and then positive 9 times negative 3 is negative 27. Okay, and then this next one, I put this one on here just because I know these were kind of tricky for some of you guys in the past. Make sure that you split this apart. So you want to find the cube root of 1 all over the cube root of 64. So just kind of a helpful hint. We know cube root of 1 is 1. Scroll up. Cube root of 64 is 4. Make sure you reduce it. Booyah, answer is 1/4. All right, and then a challenge problem to kind of end today's little getting started. So evaluate each expression. So in this case, kind of think of this as multiplication when it's on the outside of this cube root sign. So first, find cube root of negative 216. So I'm going to go up. Which one's 216? And that would be my 6 cubed. And I know that it has to be negative 6 because I need it to equal negative 216. So negative 6 is replaced with the cube root, and please note that this is saying 2 times negative 6, not 2 minus 6, 2 times negative 6. So my answer is negative 12. Okay, hopefully that kind of helps you guys get started and answer any questions that you might have. If not, feel free to reach out. I'm always available to help any way I can. If you want to set up a Zoom session, go for it. Let's do it. Email me. Please don't, if you're struggling, I want to know. I want to be able to help, and you got to let me know. So good luck, guys.